Larry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Big Idea podcast. We've got a really cool guest on this week named Chris Carter. Chris is an AI guy similar to Mr. Larkin, only on the other side of the Canadian border. And interestingly enough, I was introduced to Chris. We talked a bit, and there was a strange phenomena as a result. I actually understood what he was talking about when he was talking about AI. It's usually like ancient Greek, like, you nod your head as if you know what the heck you're talking about. So without further ado, Chris Carter, the guy's tremendous. If anyone needs help with anything about what he's about to talk about, it's the right guy to reach out to. I'm personally going to be doing a bunch of stuff with him, and he's already helped one of my dealers that was kind of twisted around sideways. So, Chris, tell us who you are, what you do, where you do it, all about your company, and thank you so much for joining Mr. Silman and Mr. Larkin and myself.
Well, I appreciate the intro. Pleasure to be here. I'm so happy to hear that you understood everything, even with the Canadian accent. That's good. We talk. I try and talk a little slower, just so it hits home. But yeah, like Larry said, I mean,
wait a minute, Chris. So you understand? I don't like to brag, but I am bilingual. I speak English in whatever language my wife appears to be speaking. I'm not fluent in it, but I can do a basic understanding.
Smart boy. Yeah. I do my best on that. But yeah, like Larry said, I'm a Canadian guy. I'm calling from just outside of Toronto. I have been in business my entire life. My first successful business that I exited was a marketing agency. So I do kind of come with the marketing in my blood. Been a sales guy all my life. I have been fortunate enough to marry into a very established automotive family. My father-in-law, when he retired, I believe he had 14 rooftops at the time and a body shop and had a bunch of good things going. Really
Wait a minute, you married into that? Does he happen to have another daughter? My wife's very understanding if the deal's right.
I am, you know what, I'll tell you, Larry, and as it goes too with father-in-laws, there's ups and downs to this, and I'm sure he'd tell you if he was on the call, there's things I could do better as well, but just been blessed to have him as a mentor and as a friend. And we now get to raise two beautiful kids that get to call him Pop, and we have a lot of fun, man. And he's enjoying himself now too. Obviously, with those kind of numbers, he's a successful guy, and he's got the ability to enjoy himself now, and I'm so happy for him that he is.
No, wait a minute, Chris. Are you AI guys allowed to talk about human beings? Any algorithms or integers?
Yeah. It's humans in the loop is what we call that. And the automotive side is why Larry and I hit it off so quick, is because I through that have had some experience in the dealership and was able to work in a couple different roles throughout the dealership and in my younger days, and I'm an automotive enthusiast as well too, right? So we got a lot in common there. And I guess to fast forward to today, AI is my bread and butter. I for the longest time was just fascinated by it. I mean, everybody talks about late 2022 when you got OpenAI coming out for the first time with ChatGPT publicly, and just was blown away. Didn't understand how it worked. It was beyond fascinating to me, and since then I've been on a never-ending quest to try and keep up. Because these tools that we have are so incredible, and it's so fast moving, and we're in an age right now where information is free and readily available, and what are you going to do with it? Like that's such a cool time to be at, and it's been fun, man. And then I get to meet guys like you. I've myself and my business partner started a podcast this year. Our podcast is called Shit My Dad Taught Me. And it's kind of in the name there. We just try and dumb it down for dads like me that are trying to make sense of everything. So yeah, that's a bit about me, Larry.
Well, I wanted to hear about shit my dad taught me. It's interesting. I mean, so you're outside of Toronto, and we keep on meeting really smart people from Canada, bringing lots of value into the U.S. So there's tons of that. There's a lot of passion in the Canadian market that comes into the USA. Toronto reminds me of a very clean city. and I enjoy going to Toronto because it seems like it's a nice, clean city. And I haven't been there in a while, but is it still a very populated, nice city?
So first off, we love having you. I always say, like, you can tell how proudly Canadian I am. Can you see the hat that's on today? You see my group of 7 artwork here are good Canadian boys. We're super proud of our country up here, and what I'm really quick to say, and we kind of said it before we press record here, is I love my neighbors. And I think that the more we can do as a collective, the closer we work, the more we just get back to being kind and being human about things. That, like, we all win from that. I've been so blessed in my career to spend a ton of time in the U.S. I visited many states. I was lucky enough to buy a car once off of an auction, and I drove it all through the U.S. to get it home. I love it down there, man. And I'll tell you. Don't listen to all the headlines, because there is a lot that we can do together collectively. There's a lot that we can do. Like I said to Larry, all this stuff around tariffs and things like that. And listen, I'm not a political guy, and I'm certainly not the smartest guy. But man, if we got back to some common sense, just got into a room and talked about it, I bet you most of this goes away real quick. But for the time being, you come up to Toronto anytime you want, man. We'd love to have you. It's definitely one of, if not my favorite city in the world. It is clean. We've got, big city problems like any big city has, but we got a heck of a baseball team up here, and actually even our hockey team's looking pretty good these days too. So yeah, we're proud of our city, proud of our country.
I've been in the stadium once years ago with the family road trip, so it's right across from the Needle.
Despite my painful memories of you guys beating our Phillies, you really outplayed the Dodgers in that series. That really should have been a Blue Jays win.
It's that one stings. I'm old enough that I remember 92, 93, and we've had some great teams since then too, but obviously just haven't made our way to a World Series. But we thought we had that one, man. What a team, what a locker room, what a dugout. They had all the makings of it, but we got beat, man. It is what it is.
But a very, very classy team. A lot of times when you watch sports these days, you're a little ambivalent because too much dancing, too much celebrating, too much pound my chest. Just a very classy team. I despite my clients in Los Angeles, I was rooting all the way for the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Well, we've in Toronto's an amazing city to be. Any sports team in Toronto is legendary. I mean, we actually just last week what's today? 2 days ago, we dropped a podcast episode with Dougie Gilmour. Doug Gilmour is probably my favorite Toronto Maple Leafs captain of all time, and he talks about the city, and he talks about how much they get behind their sports teams, and he's a legend. So yeah, we got a lot to be proud of here, man. But the Jays are coming back. We were able to do a lot in the off season, and actually there was another big trade announced today. So hopefully we'll be in the World Series again.
So Chris, we've had the luxury, Larry and I, to have Mike Larkin educate us on AI and introduce us to some of the AI tools where we're being interviewed by an agentic journalist, and we're answering questions, and then they're turning into articles, and then the articles turn into videos. What can you add to all the really cool tools that dealers are always afraid? They always don't want to be, the first one, and they don't want to get burned. But, we feel that we're dumbing it down, bringing them value and showing them how AI works. What are some important things that you can elaborate on AI? Because, there's still a lot of people out there poo-pooing it. And then you got a lot of them saying that within the next 6 months or maybe even shorter is that dealers' websites are going to be invisible. And AI is not going to even know who they are if they don't have the things corrected. So, we like to bring positive stuff to our dealers, and Mike is constantly educating us to help our dealers. What are you seeing right now?
Yeah, so I mean, the first thing I'll say is you are right. Everybody is always after the dealers for the next tool, the next big idea, and they want them to spend money, because the reality of it is a dealership is a pillar of a community. They not only employ a ton of people, they are responsible for most people in that community's second largest purchase. Like, there's a lot of money that goes in and out of those places, and the good dealers do really well, which they should. What's different about now is we have tools, and I'll talk about one specifically if I could. I don't want to plug my stuff the whole time, but we have one tool that we're particularly proud of, and it's just called Capture. So Capture.ai. What that essentially does is your dealership has, I'll keep it super simple. I know the audience is going to be well aware of how a dealership works, but let's just talk about sales, service, and parts. The amount of volume of inquiry and conversation and transaction is huge. The average dealership that has a reception area, an admin center, most of our dealers up here have consolidated into a BDC, like they've got outbound call capabilities, inbound call capabilities. CRMs will do a good job, but often in a dealership environment, there's going to be multiple CRMs or multiple pieces of software in that tech stack. How you run your call center is different than how you do your desking tool, and how reception might be logging calls with a different system. And you've got all these places where communications can fall into the cracks. What Capture does is it is a series of AI listeners and AI agents that monitor every single communication you want them to. So imagine if a customer comes in, I'll use a sales example. They're on your website. Maybe they use an AI chat widget, which most dealerships have. Maybe they pick up the phone and call in. Maybe they send an email to an info ad. Doesn't matter. Could even be social, could even be WhatsApp. However they're contacting the dealership, Capture logs it. It listens to who they are, what they said, what department they were trying to get to, and what the probable outcomes are. It documents all of that, and it forces it into the right CRM. So what that's essentially enabling you to do is make sure that there is no communication that happens with a customer that doesn't get documented. It takes the onus off of the humans in the loop to then do data entry, because we all, even sales guys, the best sales guys, if I had a bunch of sales guys on the floor, I don't want them typing notes into a computer. I want them out selling cars. That's what Capture does. And what's great about the way we've built it is that it's system agnostic. So as long as you have CRMs and tools in your sales cycle that are API friendly, cloud-based, we can get into any of them. So you've just got this one layer of Capture that's watching to make sure no communication falls through the cracks.
That's awesome. And because what we talk about is leaks. And Capture is all about the same thing. It's the leaks. And when you got an AI engine listening, you now have probably it'll come up with reports so you can follow up on the leaks. Just in that, we say that AI is our tool, but what you just explained there, I talk about ecosystems. I talk about being compliant. You need to be in an ecosystem from the lead source all the way through appraising the vehicles and selling F&I. So I love it. When you have things, so now it's not Big Brother, it's somebody watching out. It's somebody, it's like your receptionist. Everyone's being followed up. So if you get busy and you forget to do it, you still have something with the footprint. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, thanks. And you brought up a great point as well too. That I'll just show you a quick screenshot here. Can you guys see my share screen? Okay.
I see it on the bottom. Do I need to?
No.
I added it to the stage. I just put it up to the stage.
Okay, perfect. There it is. So this is what our dashboard tool looks like, because you rightfully said, like, how do I know? So I believe everything's getting captured, but how do I know and how do I action it? So this is what a screen looks like inside of Capture. This specific one is for parts operations, and basically what you're looking at is where did everybody come in from? Here's the phone calls, here's the texts, there's the chats, there's the emails. Who dealt with them? and what needs to be done. So this little one here that's in yellow right now, it's identifying today alone there were 5 missed opportunities. Those are real people who reached out with a real problem that didn't hear from you.
It's awesome.
From there, I'll show you another screen here too. You're then able to, here you go. You're then able to contact those customers directly out of our tool if you want to. It'll still log everything and put it in your CRM, or from here, you can assign it. So all you do is you preload your salespeople in, your parts counter people in, and if you see something here, if Robert Williams called and wasn't called back, when I drop it down to assign it to who I want to, they're going to get alerts, and it's going to pop up with the number they need to call.
And that employee can't go dark because now it sits on their task list. And so managers, that's awesome. That is just it's a simple tool, but how much is missed by not having this stuff? And that's the difference, and that's where AI is such an awesome tool.
And you're rightfully so, Gary. And then this last one too, I'll show you. This is exactly what you just said. Like, who's accountable? Did they go dark? Yes or no? And that's what this screen is right here. And if you really want to jump in with both feet, and I know Mike will understand the abilities here, is we can also make this fully agentic. Like, do you want AI to call these people? Make sure nothing ever gets missed? No problem. We can do that too. We believe that there should be a human in the loop. Like, you've hired those people to be great parts counter, great salespeople. Give them the opportunity to go sell. But from a communication standpoint, we can literally make sure nothing falls through the cracks.
You can train, you can educate and monitor, and then if they don't want to do it, the choices are, we can either assign you a coach or we can take it away from you. And that's the difference, because with the agentic, you want the coaching, and the AI can teach that individual the right things to say in those conversations, but now they have backup. They've been trained, and now if they're not following the training, that's a whole different story. But at least the customers are getting responded to, and the employee is being coached of what they should be doing.
Well, and then on the sales training side, like what a powerful tool to see what everybody's saying.
Absolutely.
Literally, you've got transcripts of all of this, and they're being injected into the CRM. So not only do you have full transparency on those kind of things, you got a coachable moment there where you say, hey, they dropped off pretty quick, or we only heard from them the one time. And again, with Capture intentionally being built on the top layer, meaning it doesn't replace anything. I'm not trying to say yours. You've made good investments in other sales tools and training and do all that. But make sure that nothing falls through the cracks.
Well, there's another product out there. I don't know if I'm going to say it. It's like, it was Auto Genius or something that listens to the F&I transaction. And then AI puts it, did they explain the manufacturer's warranty? Did they offer? So this is where AI, the talented people that have been playing around with AI, bring in useful tools inside the stores are amazing. And you got to cut through all the noise. But
and drive results. I mean, listen, everybody's in this to make money. Like, I don't really care about the sexy tools. I don't care about, the ones that are here today and gone tomorrow, because somebody's going to come up with an even sexier one tomorrow. Like, we specialize in the AI that's actually going to drive revenue. Like, what are the things you can put into place that I'm going to feel on my bottom line?
Yeah. And when everybody has their own coach at their level, that's the thing that I'm seeing as a winner, is that the AI can coach the individuals on how to do a better job without somebody making them feel bad, right? It's a manager calling them out. No, let the coach go work with them for a little while and help them to meet the penetrations and the levels they need, as opposed to somebody tearing them down. So it takes those hard conversations out. They're gone.
Well, and you guys, like the sales trainers that I'm seeing that are crushing it right now, and obviously we've got one on the call today, but they understand how important systems and processes are. AI is specifically there to ensure systems and processes. Like it's the perfect pairing to really good technique.
Chris, let me jump back to sports. I just trained about 20 people in Florida, and I am on record, having said before Brady and Belichick split up that Belichick is not the greatest coach of all time. Great coach, but not the greatest. We'll find out how good he is without Brady. Said the greatest coach of all time is Vince Lombardi, who won 5 out of 6 championships. He lost to my Eagles. He won the first 2 Super Bowls. Everybody in the league knew he was going to run the Lombardi sweep around the right side of the line, but everybody hit their blocks. You know, everybody gets involved with all the sexy stuff, but the real deal is process. The real deal is being consistent with your behavior, doing what you need to do. If you don't have process, it doesn't matter how handsome you are, how beautiful you are, how good of a talker you are. There has to be a system where things make sense.
Yeah, and that's where it turns to guys like you and obviously Gary when it comes to F&I. Like the systems exist, so how do we enforce them? And how do we take best practice and make that routine?
Well, it used to be the poor person never sat in front of that particular screen and didn't understand. And so it was expected that they were going to understand and master that skill. Well, now you've got support everywhere, and you don't need to have people on islands. You know, I mean, there can be a training system that somebody's not meeting their expectations. And that's the difference, is that you don't need to replace anybody in any dealership today with any kind of AI at all. We just need to make sure that everybody that works in the store that has use to the AI understands it and knows the value to them and to the dealership, and they just need to perform their roles. The stress should start to roll out in a lot of these places when, you know, you have a system that everybody understands and it's documented and it can be trained upon.
And it can be augmented, Gary, that it's a tool rather than a crutch. The idea of having someone be able to talk to your customers 10 o'clock at night or on a Sunday if your dealership happens to be closed is gold. The idea of replacing humans or making humans unimportant is beyond horrible, because all it's going to do is make the people you have less valuable. And trust me, the nerdiest of nerds doesn't like talking to a prompt machine that puts them through 3 prompts and then hangs up on them. We have to reemphasize the human element, but use the technology. We have to be more effective.
Yeah, and the back end of some of those agents now that we've trained they're getting so good. Like, you've got companies that are just specializing in voice and how the cadence and rhythm, and like, so now you've got these super realistic sounding agents, but you can backfeed them your own knowledge base. So
Chris, we're going to be the determinant of whether they're just like humans. When they start calling out sick and getting rid of the customer because they think the other AI machine has a better customer, then they'll be real salespeople. Am I right, Gary? Then we'll know they've mastered the human element.
Yeah, and what's going to be nice is these are, and you said the word too, these are tools, okay? The tools are...
they're not replacing. Everyone has to get that out of their head. It is not a replacement. It
shouldn't be a crutch, Gary. It shouldn't be. You know, Chris, I'm old. When I got into this damn business, they were just starting to print out inventory on a white piece of paper. And the lazy guys would say, "Oh, looking for a car? Sit down at my desk. Let me pull my inventory sheet out." Now you walk the guy, you make them fall in love. Yeah. Here was a tool that could help you with your knowledge, but some people used it as a crutch. This is the same thing, only a lot more sophisticated. It should be an augmentation, not a crutch and not a replacement.
Hey, Chris, one of the things that was drilled into my head when, 3.5 years ago, when AI first came out, you know, the wow factor and all, but we wanted to use it to monetize. But at that time, we were warned, hey, we're going to work on a scalable framework. We're going to work with an automation strategy, and the artificial intelligence is going to start at A and end up at Z. In other words, it's going to get smarter as we grow. So what I'm saying now, and you brought it up, different AI companies are focusing on different elements of business. One is going to answer your phone. One is going to do a follow-up call. One is, and all that. Now I've been telling people this, that they need to go to Google and type in EEAT. That's going to tell you what Google's looking for to show your business in front of the people that are looking for your products or services. And if you don't, you're going to be invisible, because this isn't my father's SEO anymore. It's connect the dots, and it's using CI, and it's called, we're using AI to create EI. EI is expert intelligence. So there's so much crap on the AI that it's taking from every corner of the world, and it's just generic stuff. Anybody can tell you that, but when you're able to do the EI, the experts, and when I'm looking for a company, I want to deal with an expert. I don't want to deal with generic, hey, you can get a oil change at Jiffy Lube. No, get me the people that'll do synthetic. Get me the people that'll be an expert at changing my car's oil. So that's the direction that the large languages and Google are going. It stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And again, the warning is out. If you don't have those three elements in place, as far as, I'm an AI company, I'm an AI agency. If you don't have those three, you're going to be able to burn yourself. So I say, if you don't have all three, run. And if you're not using AEAT, you're at a loss.
Chris, we try to keep these podcasts under a half an hour so we can get more eyeballs on them. Obviously, they see your information scrolling on the bottom of the screen. I can testify that you're a pretty easy guy to reach, and certainly a rewarding and fun guy to talk to. Anything you'd like to add, my brother, before we conclude?
Yeah, no, I mean, great conversations. Mike, I'm sorry we had to cut it short. I'm super fascinated to hear your take on things. And, we're called 15 Element because we understood that these were all going to be elements of good business. And we've come up with, each element it's modular, but it's designed to address an issue. So what you were talking about, search is changing dramatically. Every dealership listening to this right now needs to reevaluate how, when, and what they post. The taxonomy of a dealership, meaning your inventory, what do you do, your people, the city, all of those, which used to be best practice SEO, are amplified. And you need to be way more thoughtful about it. And you need to be way more calculated in how you curate content. But the dealerships that are doing this right now are winning in search. And search isn't just Google anymore, by the way. Search is all of these large language models. You name your, OpenAI or ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, all of them. People are going there to find their next car. They're going there to find out when they can go get that oil change. So you got to be really proactive on how you tell your story and where you tell your story. And we can help with that, as I'm sure Mike can as well too.
Hey, Chris, I will probably get you back on. I told these two gentlemen how much fun it would be to have you on. We'll get you back on as a follow-up to see how well you're entrenching down here. And anybody that needs to reach out to this guy, you won't be sorry. All my contacts with him have been really fun and, more important, really productive. All right. Thank you so much.
Appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
Have a good weekend. Go Pats.
Thanks a lot. Good seeing everybody.